Hi, welcome to the Flawed Theology Podcast. I'm Phil.
And I'm Susie, and we're asking the question, if your theology were wrong, wouldn't you want to know?
All right. Hey, everybody. We're doing a little promo kind of to give a little teaser for what we decided was going to be the season 1 finale of the Flawed Theology Podcast. There's really no rhyme or reason to how we release episodes or when the season ends, because we really don't know what the hell we're doing. Right?
No, we don't. Not at all.
So,
we're making it up as we go along.
Yeah. So we thought, hey, we did 14 episodes. That seems like a good place to end the season.
Let's stop there.
Which by the time you're listening to this, the 14th one should be out, which will be about fear and a lot of fun stuff around that topic. But so we wanted to do a little promo for our season finale, which will be the next episode. Susie, do you want to talk a little bit about what our plan is for the finale?
Yeah, we want to do like an Ask Me Anything type, like if you're on Reddit, Ask Me Anything.
Yeah.
We want you to send in your questions for us. And it can be about anything. It can be about deconstruction. It can be about theology. We might not have all the answers, and we're happy to say we don't know.
Right.
But we want your questions, and we are going to try to answer them. And they can be personal questions too about our journeys and whatever.
We've probably had a lot of questions ourselves, and that's been the driving force around a lot of the episodes that we've done so far. Topics we're interested in, topics we have questions about.
Yeah.
And so hopefully by us digging into these questions ourselves, we're helping you guys get answers to questions, or at least get some kind of information about a topic. Because I don't know, I feel like answers is kind of like it's one of those absolute terms. Like, I don't think we've claimed to have the answers about anything.
Somebody just posted that on Facebook, and the Answers to Answers in Genesis Facebook group.
Oh, did they?
Something about answers, because the term answers in Genesis, which is Ken Ham's organization,
right.
It's funny how they discourage questions. They don't have the questions. They just give out answers.
Right. The questions are discouraged. We have the answers, even though no one's asking the questions that we're answering, which is kind of funny. So hopefully our quote unquote answers are actually to questions that you might have. And then also with the caveat of our answers, they could be completely wrong. So
I hope not.
Yeah, we hope not. But like, we definitely don't claim to be experts in the topics that we've discussed throughout the season. So I guess we thought we'd talk a little bit about some of the highlights of the season. What were some of the highlights for you?
My favorite episode so far is Divine Hiddenness.
Ooh.
And I think that's just because we got to explore so many logical contradictions between reality and what we would expect reality to look like if there were a God.
Yeah.
Who loved us and was all powerful, etc.
Yeah. And that topic for me was like interesting for me to dig into, because like that is like a question that I never had as I was a Christian. I never really even thought of the idea of God being hidden, because to me, it always felt like he was there.
Yeah, it was in your head.
Yeah. And yeah, it doesn't get any closer than right here in your temple, so it's like when you start deconstructing, then you realize, oh, wait, this person that I've thought I was in a relationship with is actually
imaginary.
They're not there. And I've been looking for them actually this whole time, and that's a pretty interesting thing to dig into.
So what was your favorite? What's the highlight of the season for you?
I don't know. I think a lot of the guest episodes are probably really exciting, because I don't think any of the guests that we expected to get, because we're so new and fledgling. So,
well, Lars isn't a celebrity yet.
Yeah, he's on his way to celebrity status, and we kind of knew him through Facebook groups and stuff. So, but having April LaJoy and Beecher and then Anthony Magnabosco agree to chat with us lowlings, was pretty awesome as far as the highlight goes. But I think all the episodes, like there's little pieces of every episode that you're like, oh, that was like really fun. Like at the end of every episode, I always felt like, oh, that was a really fun conversation, like, which was cool. Like, so
what's happening?
I don't know. It sounds like
the battering ram.
Yeah. It sounds like my 5-year-old is either kicking the wall next to my room or she's kicking the door. And of course I don't have my phone, so I can't text my wife to tell her to get the battering
remove the child.
Remove the battering ram from. So yeah, so those are, I think I had a lot of fun. I hope you did too. Like for two people that like, we just kind of threw this together and like, we're like, hey, let's do this. And then we're like, hey, let's figure out how to make it work. It's been a lot of fun, I think, so far.
And I think we've learned a lot about editing and podcasting and how to make things more polished. When you go back and listen to our first episode, I kind of cringe a little because it's not quite the style that we grew into.
Yeah, yeah. Well, and speaking of editing, I mean, we didn't know what we were doing at all. Like
No.
I had a teeny little bit of editing experience from like being a musician. You had never done any kind of editing at all, and you like turned into like an editing wizard. So kudos to you.
It's really
like,
fun.
Yeah, I mean, you have done really well with it. Like I actually don't think I could do the editing the way you do it. So
I don't think you could either.
That's really good.
I'm really detail oriented, and you're not quite as.
Yeah, your detailedness is different than my detailedness. Like the things that you pick up, I would never pick up. It's been really cool. So thanks for all the work you've done with that.
Oh, my pleasure. It's been fun.
Yeah, it's been really fun. So yeah, just in case you were wondering, behind the curtain, when we finish the episode, we upload it to Google, and then Susie edits it in a program, and then she sends it to me. I do some editing and usually just put the music and do a lot of transitions and do some little extra stuff, and then send it back to Susie, and then she finds all the things that I missed and did wrong, and then she says, "Hey, can you fix this?" And I'm like, I guess
Because if you don't fix it, I can't sleep at night, and you know that.
Right, yeah. It's pretty important that Susie gets her sleep. Yeah. I'm like, fine, I'll fix it so you don't have a panic.
Well, you know what happens when I don't double check?
Oh, yeah.
What happens, Phil?
Yeah, what happens is we have like a outtake to the outtake, and there's like a double recording. What happened that one time where...
Yeah, we need to tell the story because we have this sound effect. I think it was from episode 5. Was it our personal stories? I think it was.
I think so, yeah.
It was, listen carefully, when Phil is telling the temple story... He makes this random sound effect, and it happens so quickly. I didn't even notice it until I was in the editing phase. And I thought, wow, I can't believe that sound came out of his mouth. So I isolated it, and I repeated it 3 times, and I sent it to Phil, and I was like, hey, you made this sound. Isn't this crazy? This is hilarious, yeah. Yeah, and so we had a good laugh, and he's like, stick that in the outtakes. So if you guys haven't listened to the end of our episodes, you're missing out on our outtakes where we sound like morons.
Yeah, there's a lot of foolishness that happens in the outtakes.
So I stuck it in the outtakes, and I sent it to Phil for him to put the music and the transitions in. And he sends it, or he uploads it, and he goes, "Do you want to check it again?" And I was like, "Nah, I trust you." So the next day,
big mistake. It's like worse than trusting in God, trusting in me. It's like terrible idea.
So the next day, I'm like doing laundry, and I'm listening to our episode on my podcast app, and I hear that sound effect, and not in the right place, not at the outtakes, but in the middle of the episode. And I almost had a heart attack.
Well, then it wasn't also repeated again at the very end in that same episode. Like it was in the outtakes. And then if you happen to like have nothing else to do and you nodded off and then woke up 10 minutes later, there was another set of the outtakes with that sound in there.
Oh, that was a different episode. You repeated the outtakes. Yeah.
Yeah. So something went wonky in the editing thing. And it was pretty funny. So she messaged me in a panic.
Yeah. It wasn't funny at the time.
Yeah.
I was having a meltdown, but now it's funny.
It's funny now. And we learned a lot about how to re-upload an episode and how long it takes to populate through the podcast universe. So
if you downloaded that episode, it was episode 5, I think.
Yeah.
Don't quote me on that. If you downloaded it within the first day, you probably still have the incorrect version.
Yes.
You're one of the lucky ones.
It's like a rare episode. It'd be like, if you have the original season 1, episode 5, it may be worth tens of dollars someday if we ever achieve awesome levels of greatness.
Yeah, right.
But so speaking of levels of greatness, like when we started this thing, we had no idea where it was going to go, if anyone was going to listen to it at all, because we were like, who's going to listen to this bunch of chuckleheads? But we've actually had we just hit 4,000 downloads in the episodes that was released so far. So that's pretty awesome.
I think that is pretty good for newbies. Yeah.
We've had listeners all over the globe, like some of the countries. Let's see where our audience. So our podcast has been downloaded and listened to in like mostly in the US, but we've been in Australia. We've got listeners in the United Kingdom. We got some in Canada. We've even got one in South Africa now.
Oh, that's cool.
So that's pretty cool. Anyway, so as far as our season finale goes, we're going to do, like Susie said, an Ask Us Anything episode. And you can send in your questions in a variety of means. You can email them to us at flawedtheology@gmail.com. You can tweet them to us at flawedtheology. It's actually the same on Twitter and Instagram, is both just at flawedtheology. And then on our Facebook page, you can message us at flawedtheology podcast. And I think that's all the ways that you can contact us. And if you know either of us individually, you can feel free to message us that way.
Yeah.
Because I know you've gotten some feedback and stuff through different sites that we've posted on. And so that's been really cool. So we appreciate all the feedback and all the support we've got. Like some of the reviews we've got have been really cool and really fun. I think we mentioned some of them on the previous episodes. So thanks for a great first season. We're looking forward to the season finale. And then we're going to take a little bit of a break. I mean, it probably won't be like a huge long break, but we're going to kind of get our ducks in a row. And then we'll start season 2 sometime in the near future. And we'll do a promo for that and a little countdown. I don't know if you saw Jack Robertson. He has a cool podcast called The Musings of the ADD Mind. And he just did his second season and he did like a countdown post every day, which is really cool. So,
I don't have the energy for that. That's going to have to be you.
Yeah, I'll have to do that. So,
yeah, I'm excited. We have some cool topics, I think, in line, and a lot of guests that we have. We've contacted a lot of them, and they've agreed to come on. We just need to set dates and stuff. Yeah.
So, yeah, also that'd be another thing to send in if you have topics that you'd like to hear us discuss. We definitely are open to that too. So, again, message us via email, via Twitter, Instagram, the Facebook page. Ask us anything you want, and we will do our best to answer the questions.
The dangerous questions.
Yeah, asking the dangerous questions.
Send them in, no matter how dangerous.
Yeah, that will be on the horizon soon, so stay tuned. Thanks for listening, everybody, and we will talk to you next time.